Okay, today's lesson, maybe a lesson for me rather more than you. I try to learn a lot of things about excuse me, what I'm doing as I go, and sometimes God talks to me in that fashion. But anyway, 666. Today is about 666. It's about, of course, the Antichrist, the mark of the beast, and who he is, and what progress that has been made in the understanding of that since I posted my first message about who the Antichrist is and why the mark of the beast, why the 666 is not going to instantly reveal who he is, but the book of Daniel, of course, tells us the time when this man of sin will be revealed. And excuse me, and it says that when he sets himself up in the temple and declares himself to be God, then the world will know that this is the Antichrist, or at least they will know that this is the Antichrist that the Bible points to. But excuse me, the Bible calls him the man of sin. So now the world won't look at him as the man of sin. Why is that? Well, because sin is fun. You know, when you are drawn away from God, the Bible tells us we're drawn away from our own lust. Well, the Antichrist is going to be one who is fulfilling that lust. Now, the best way to bring a temptation to a man is not just to sprawl it all out there. You know, if there was a temptation to a man, the best way to tempt a natural man is not to tempt him all of a sudden with everything that you've got, but the best way to tempt him is to cover some of it up. Just let him see the idea of what he's getting. Okay? Like a lot of XXX movies, you know, and I'm relating this to the natural. A lot of XXX movies, they're just gross. But if you can cover some of that up, like parade a bunch of women in front of some men who have some skimpy bikinis, and I guarantee you everyone would be looking. Whereas in the other scenario, that there would be a few looking, but not all of them, because they'd be like saying, that's just a little too much for me, you know, even in the natural. And I'll tell you what I'm talking about. This thing with this XXX show that they had on, it was like an American Idol thing, but it was X-rated. And this lady, Jennifer Lopez, I think so it was, this guy came out there flinging his stuff all around, and she got sick, and she almost threw up. She was like heaving right there in front of how many millions of people. And that's what I'm talking about. Now see, the devil is not stupid enough to do that. And that's what I'm saying. When this man of sin is revealed, he's going to hide who he is. He is smarter than you think. He's celestial. He is not human. He's celestial. He knows the makeup of men. He is extremely intelligent in pulling you in. I mean, he is the head of all the trouble that the world has today. The devil, this Antichrist spirit, the Bible said there was many of them in the land in the day of Christ, in the day of the Apostle Paul and the apostles. They were many of them in the land in that day, and they're put there by the devil himself, because he was, you know, he's been, you know, and he learns. He's learning over time. He's learning how to, and he's gearing up for this last battle. Okay, now and that's okay. Now that's who he is. He's relating to the natural, just like I pointed out before. This is what I put. Now this might be interesting to you, and it'll probably bring up the same thing. Go on Google, put in 666 of the Antichrist is related to the natural things of nature, or men. I'm going to put that on there, or men, and then see what it brings. See if it brings up anything any different. Yeah, right away it comes up, man of sin. Wikipedia has a editorial on here about it as well, and I haven't went into that yet to see what it's about, but and I really don't want to get into this too much, but I just want to talk to you from my heart about what the Antichrist is, and what the Lord has said to me as God's prophet, what God has said to me about the Antichrist. Okay, and I've got a lot of that on my other video. Just look up, go into my site and look up the Antichrist. Just put an Antichrist, it should pop up. Okay, but now what the Antichrist is to the world is everything that the world desires. He will help you find reason why it's okay for you to satisfy your deepest pleasure. Let me tell you something. King Solomon is not going to have anything on this man. Now, one of the most secular books ever written was written by King Solomon, and it's in the Bible. It's called, that's a good question, what's it called? It's called Songs of Solomon. Go read that. Okay, and that'll give you a hint of where the Antichrist will be taking you. He's going to be like your best uncle. He's going to be your best uncle. He's going to be in that fashion. He will be the friendliest man you've ever met in your life. Listen, the Antichrist is going to be above and beyond any compassionate preacher that you have ever seen in your life. I don't care how close you were to your pastor. I don't care if you was married to him. He's going to be nothing compared to what the Antichrist is going to display when he comes. He's going to be the most compassionate man that your eyes have ever laid on, man. He will be so feeling, so thoughtful. Every thought that you have ever had about a need that you wanted, he is going to give you the answer for. They said that years ago. They would say he's going to be the man with 2 chickens in every pot. Well, if you lived in the South and you were poor, you know what that meant. He's going to give you the desires of your heart. He's because in those days, if you had 1 chicken in the pot, you was a lucky person. In my house anyway. And a lot of houses in the South was like that, and some still are. Okay, so anyway, what he's going to do is answer all those questions. You're not going to see him as a man of sin. You will not see the Antichrist as the man of sin. Absolutely will not, but now listen what the Bible says. The Bible says that our flesh nature, our carnal nature, is the enemy of God. Our carnal nature. This is why a lot of liberals cannot understand why, especially the ones that are atheists. They cannot understand or fathom why this thing about God and discipline, about love being a hard discipline toward man, they can't fathom why that's supposed to work, or even why that it does. But it does. It certainly does. Okay? And I would just like to go on talking about this, because see, there's a lot more. There's the beast that's associated with the Antichrist. Now, the beast will, or the Antichrist will eventually introduce this one that is the beast, that we will call, a lot will call the beast. I'm not sure what the Antichrist will call him. I don't know. I think he'll probably have his own name for him. But he will jokingly refer to him as the beast sometimes. And he will say about the beast, he will say, I'm protecting you from this man. And he will slowly put this into the minds of the people of the world, that this is the evil. He'll give you a choice, him or it. And truthfully, they will be like this. They will work together. Because see, there's an old scenario that God put man together in the fashion that God put man together, in that when he is hurt, he runs to something he thinks is good. And while this evil beast that's running around hurting everybody, the Antichrist is going to talk them into believing that he is the one to run to. And maybe he you know, I'm telling you the truth, he may not even have the relationship between them revealed. That might be his big thing. Run to me. I am your protection. I can put this man. And see, they're working together, and all that he has to do is verbally say, okay, now you stay off of this guy. Pretend like you were beaten, whatever, you know. Make like it was that I commanded you. And the world will follow us in all that we do. The heart of the Antichrist. I'm telling you, it's really something. He will be everything that you ever wanted in your heart's desire, as far as your flesh is concerned. But his objective is to drag you down to hell. His objective is to drag you down to hell. And he will be very successful in a lot that he does. But God's people will still rise up and overtake him. And they will have victory over him. And they will reign in this world, on this earth, forever and ever and ever and ever. Why? Why is that? See, because there is no defense against love. There is no defense against love. Even now our governments are using these same tactics against its own people. That's why so many people are wanting after the Trump. And I'll get into that later. All right, but God bless you. Thank you for joining. We'll see you next time. Another great message right here across in the Middle Ministry.